Good, beautiful morning, family, and welcome to Kingdom Moments. Today's focus is we shall live resolved. But Daniel made up his mind that he would not defile himself. Daniel chapter 1, verse 8. So the next example that the Lord would have us see with regard to our living in these last days is the resolution of the saints. Now, God literally just gave me that term when I typed it out. It's kind of cool. God's people are to be resolved, like Daniel, in a world they don't belong in and have no connection with. It could have been so easy at this point for Daniel and his friends to give in to the pressure of the lives being lived around them, many by their own people. It could have been easy to enjoy the delicacies of a foreign land whose tastes and smells you've probably never smelt or tasted before. The allure of the king's food isn't food you're going to get in the hospital, okay? But what does the word say? Okay, Daniel made up his mind. Well, that word made up in Hebrew is the word sum, which means to appoint, to consider, to commit. This is the word describing how we are to live. Sum. We must make up our minds that this world is not our home, and that anything this world offers us is never going to be the same as what God has prepared for us later, namely in the kingdom of heaven when Christ rules. We must stand with a resolute spirit and make the conscious decision by considering what the world has to offer versus what God has already given us freely. Why? We just mentioned it. Jesus is coming. Now watch this. Get this picture of Daniel in Babylon. He's in exile, but there's something there, some kind of spark that makes this kid decide he's going to go against the status quo of what the king requires for him to eat and his friends. It's as if Daniel believed that God really and truly can do anything and that the requirements he gave his people long ago will keep him now. Huh? You see, Daniel didn't have an epiphany of trying something new. He considered, he remembered how God moved with his forefathers, our forefathers. And then he made a conscious choice to say, if God has done this for them and it is his requirement, I choose that. There's a correlation here if you're willing to see it. The Israelites grumbled in the wilderness and wanted the king's delicacies of Egypt, and they were disciplined for it. They wanted what they had, not what was coming. Why? Because they couldn't imagine what it would be like. Can I get a witness? Watch. Between something you don't know, okay, and something you know, chances are you're going to go with what you know. But that's not faith. Daniel was displaying his faith, his loyalty, his resolve to be God's man. And he and we know how this decision plays out. He will end up being in service to the king. Have a wonderful day, family. I love you.